Good to see you guys again. And for today's video, I'm gonna create a new series of videos. It's gonna be a new playlist that you're gonna see on my channel. Where it's gonna focus on taxes. Specifically, I'm gonna talk about tax-related topics. So the first topic is choosing the right filing status. I think that it's important that every taxpayer know the benefits of choosing the right filing status, because I think a lot of people are confused on what are they should be. Should they be single? Should they be in a household? Should they be married, married separate, married jointly, uh, qualifying widow? Maybe you are qualifying widow. You don't know that, so I'm just gonna break it down for you guys. But for today, I'm just gonna talk about singles and head of households. Welcome to Simple Truth. I'm your host, Hank. I've been an accountant for the past 10 years. I also run a resale business for the past 5 years. And if you've been following me for a while, thank you. And it will help me a lot if you like the video. If you're new, welcome. And I suggest you to subscribe and also hit the bell so you can get notifications of every video I post, which I've been posting every Mondays and Fridays. I usually talk about investment education, resale education, and also accounting practices. So I want to talk about choosing the right filing status, because every taxpayer has to choose one, and it's important to know that you're choosing the right one, because that's going to depend on your benefit, your deductibles, your tax breaks, or your tax bracket, where you belong. Usually your tax filing choice depends on your marital status by the end of the last day of the year. So by December 31, you're single or you're married. That's gonna put you in a different category. It's gonna be true for most of us. If you didn't get married by the end of the year, by December 31st, most likely you're gonna be single. And the single status is the least beneficial for anyone who is filing. So meaning you're gonna have the less deductibles to your return. You're gonna have not a lot of applicable tax breaks that you can apply to your return. Your tax bracket is going to be higher. You're going to be in a higher rating. Even though filing single sounds like it sucks, but you can't take a lot of advantage of all the tax breaks you can get. But filing single just means that you don't have a lot of responsibilities. The government is trying to help people who have a lot of responsibility, and they try to let them keep a lot of the money they're earning. So that's one of the mindsets that you can go into. At the end of the day, I know nobody wants to pay taxes. Everybody wants to have tax breaks, and everybody wants to get the best deductibles and tax credits and all this. But that's the reality, where the government doesn't want to penalize people who have more responsibility. And if you're single, they think or they expect that you don't have a lot, and maybe you can squeeze more. They can squeeze more taxes out of you, and that's just a tough reality. And I know it sucks. Filing status after single is the head of household, and this one will give you better. You're gonna be in a better tax rate, but there are some qualifications that you have to meet before be able to file as a head of household, and that is because you're gonna have more responsibilities. That the government is going to give you a little break on your taxes. You're going to be able to claim some tax credits on your return, and it's just a better option for you. So I'm just going to go over you guys the few qualifications you have to meet so you can apply it. The first qualification is the taxpayer has to be unmarried or considered to be unmarried by the end of the year. And on top of that, the taxpayer has to be paying more than half of the living costs of the household. The second qualification is that the taxpayer has to have a qualifying person that has been living with them more than 6 months. So it could be 6 months and a day they have to be living. And also the person doesn't have to be living with them if it's a qualifying parent, so a mother or father doesn't have to be living in the property or the same house of the taxpayer. They could be living in the nursing home, but you are paying half of their household expenses, and now you have a qualifying person. So third qualification is the qualifying person has to be a qualifying child. So if it's your kid, also it has to be a qualifying relative. So your parents or in-law or something in that in those lines. So it has to be someone that you can claim as your dependent. It's really important to know that, even though if you're just paying for them, they have to qualify as your dependent on your tax return. And the qualifying relative cannot be like a friend that who's living in your house and he needs help and he's been living for you with you for the past 6 months. It has to be a qualifying taxpayer family member. So like a brother or sister or a mother or father or in-laws. If you were married and then you got divorced, but you got your in-laws living with you, it still counts. And you can claim it as your dependent because you're paying more than half of the expenses for the household. Then you are able to file as a head of household. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully, after watching this video, you understand the difference between filing single, which is going to be a lot of us if you don't have a lot of responsibilities, and then filing as head of household. You have to meet a couple of qualifications before meeting that qualification, being able to do your taxes as a head of the household. And this means that you have more responsibilities, you have somebody you're taking care of, you have a child, but it's an umbrella where you are single, so you aren't married, but you have responsibilities, and the government is trying to help you have more cash or have more money from your earnings.